What is up, homies? So I am here to give a weekly bossing update. It's coming out a little bit later than I would have hoped, but it's only about a day behind. So 5.10.15 happened recently, and I just wanted to do a quick update on what I starred recently, the gear upgrades, and if I actually did new bosses on certain characters or not. So starting with my Jett, I actually got arcane cape and arcane shoes. I didn't have enough Mesos to finish both, but I got my shoes to 18 stars and about roughly 3 bill. And I ran out of Mesos, so my cape came later, and I only got it to 15 stars for now. Definitely going to push this further once I have more Mesos coming along. But that's pretty much it for a quick Jett update. As for the rest of my bossing mules, I'll be starting with my Arc, and Arc has had quite a bit of improvements. So previously, my Arc had a mix of different stars, and now I would like to say my Arc is actually done. As in, I no longer need any more upgrades of any sort, um, at least within the short term, because I feel like my Arc now solos bosses comfortably. So what I've done recently, oops, is I threw roughly another 100 nodes on here, which is more than I normally would have. So my upgraded nodes are here. And I used the rest of my node shards for Infinity Spell. I decided to move both of these into the hand slots, and I kept these two in the other enhanced slots and moved the other boost nodes down. So I've leveled up all the boost nodes quite a bit, and I also put on decent speed infusion so that I could use green pot as well. So these are the different levels I have on my nodes now. This has helped me tremendously because now I am doing roughly 7-minute Lotus. Here is the current stat without Maple Warrior, and then with Maple Warrior I am at 17.6k stat. In terms of the gear itself, I pushed as many items as I can to 16 stars. I do want to push it to 17 stars because I'm basically missing a single star on all my equips, but in the short term I don't think it'll affect me too much. I do want to fix some of the potentials, but the potentials can wait since it's purely stat. And I actually got the fairy heart on here recently, which was a nice juicy upgrade because it was a 3-line unique on tier up. Actually, was it on tier up? It was on tier up, but I was trying to tier it up to legendary, and I ended up with this instead. So the arc is officially done. You won't see it in a while until I try to push it for 17s or if I do any more note upgrades. Note upgrades for me here would really be pushing for at least level 40 boost. But until then, nodes on my arc are at a good amount. After my arc, I did upgrades to my Pathfinder. Now, I'd say during 5.10.15, my Pathfinder received the most amount of buffs. Because now my Pathfinder can do up to Lotus. So if you've seen this week's Pathfinder bossing video, I did a 12-minute Lotus run on my Pathfinder. So my Pathfinder is currently at 17 everything. So 17 Superior Ring, 17 Reinforce Ring. This can't be 17, of course, so this has been the same and will be replaced later. Same unique Synergy Ring, same cup. Belt is 17. I left the weapon at 16 because I'm considering an arcane weapon in the future. So I didn't want to put any more stars on here. I have a fake Dom, 17 superior. CRAs are all 17. Same condensed power crystal, 18 star pink bean mark. Absos are currently all 17 as well. Shoulder is 17. earrings are 17, and here are the rest of the items. So currently I am 14.3 K stat without Maple Warrior. If I buff Maple Warrior on, I'm 15K stat. So the Lotus run was about 12 minutes, and I didn't have G skills for the full duration, so I think I can drop that to roughly 10 minutes. Nodes are about the same. I do want to push my Pathfinder to 220, so I can get the full amount of full damage on Lotus, and that would help me greatly. And that's pretty much it for Pathfinder. So Pathfinder is pretty much done in stars. I just have to fix some of the potentials. And it'll be pushing for Damien soon. I didn't make an attempt last week, but I think I'll do Lotus and Damien first for this upcoming week's bossing video, and we'll see how that goes. So for the Hoyoung, the Hoyoung is in a slightly comfortable spot. I am still trying to push some of the stars on here. So what I did do was, I believe anything that was 15 stars for the Absos, I just tapped to 16, but the rings are still missing stars. And then Superior are also missing stars, but CRAs are still the same. Black Bean Mark, Condensed Power Crystal is still the same. And then Shoulder, I'll eventually push. I think I'll just push that during No Boom Room, which is likely coming in October. So in terms of stat, I am at 13.5k stat. With Maple Warrior, I am at 14.2. I forgot that I haven't worked on my hyperstat page for my Hoyoung at all, so I definitely think it can be strong enough to do at least Lotus and probably Damien as well. If you look at the nodes are decently boosted. I just started using Last Resort, so I'm getting used to having a few more keys while bossing. I try my best to use Gore during my burst rotation, and so far it's been good to do all my bosses up to Akechi. After that, I have my Dark Knight. So I believe my Dark Knight was also one of the other characters that also had a few 15. So anything from my bossing mule that was 15 previous week, it just went straight to 16. I didn't want to force 17 stars just because I spent the rest of my Meso on my Jett. So here is the gear on my Dark Knight. I still do up to Akechi. I'm hoping after I finish my Hoyoung to do up to NLomien that my Dark Knight will be one of the ones next. So rings and accessories in general are still 12 stars. I still need to push stars on those and still tier up some of my potentials to unique. I don't think I plan to get a heart on here, but the fact that I have at least 16 stars all around is definitely huge gains. So I am 19.8k stat without Maple Warrior, and with Maple Warrior it puts me at 10k stat, so pretty comfortable area to do up to Akechi. I think if I work a bit more on my nodes, I can probably do Lotus on here soon. I haven't tried to do it yet, but I'll get there once I finish my Hoyoung. I did switch my nodes around because I wanted to keep Nova. I used to have Darkness Aura, which I ended up swapping for Radiant Evil, and I decided that I wanted to just keep on Blitz Shield and my Bind with Sharp Eyes. I felt like this was a comfortable place to be. Once I push my Dark Knight to 220, I'll likely put on Speed Infusion, and I'll probably bring back Radiant Evil for bossing. So in terms of acing for my bossing meal so far, all of them finish within 30 to 40 minutes if it's up to Akechi. And then my Dark Knight spends a bit longer. It's closer to 40 to 45, but with these recent upgrades, I would say that should have dropped closer to 30 minutes again. But we'll see once I am gonna do my next arc video for this upcoming week. So my buck has had quite a few symbol upgrades. Is still using 5 set abso. I do not have enough superiors yet or Golux coins to swap to Golux sets, so I'm still using the 9 set boss accessory. And I would say for here, I tapped my pink bean belt to 16 to prep for superior belt transfer. And then everything else should be roughly 16 stars, which puts me in a comfortable spot to say that I probably won't need to work on my absos for a bit. I just need to finish my accessories. There are things I need to tier up. I'm just waiting till I accumulate a large amount of Master Craftsman cubes and Meister cubes again, and hopefully use that for my boss signals to tier up from rare to epic or epic to unique. In terms of the nodes itself right now, I would say that my buck is decent all around. I'm still working on its burst rotation, but I feel like my buck might be able to get to NLomien before my Dark Knight at its current pace. And that's just because the Terror Burn's giving me so many nodes, and I believe I haven't used any of my EXP nodes yet, so I'll be able to use that to help finish up my buck sometime soon. So the next bossing mule is my Shadower. So Shadower is still a character I'm working on being comfortable with. I have a friend who's helping me understand how to play the class. It is definitely strong enough to do up to Akechi at the moment, just because I have a really good weapon and secondary. In terms of nodes, I definitely poured a shit ton of nodes into this. So not me to do that. So if I open up my node window, I have some of my boosts at 22. So this is actually higher than I normally would have on some of my bossing mules, but once I get to 220, I can start introducing shadow. Wait, I actually have shadow salt. I just don't have it key bounded. I still have some boost nodes I don't have bounded yet. I don't have last resort yet. I don't have speed infusion, which is pretty important. So I'm hoping to push the 220 soon, and that'll help me a lot on my shadower. In terms of its current stat, it is 8.2k stat. Shadow is surprisingly very strong to be even able to do up to Akechi. Um, but with that in mind, I did work on my weapon. Weapon's currently 17 stars. And then everything else should be at 16 stars in terms of Absolab gear. I'm still working on doing 4 set superior on here. So once I get that around, it'll be, I think I can start doing NLomien on my Shadower right after that. I do need to push a bit of dailies, so I need to start doing these soon, probably just the PQs at least, just so I don't have to worry about having a TP rock. But, Shadower is going really far, really fast. The next bossing mule I worked on was Marksman, so I actually got my Marksman to 210. I do have a Absolab crossbow, and this crossbow is going to help quite a bit for my Marksman, just because I ended up rolling a really solid flame. So in terms of where my Marksman's at, I can probably start doing at least CRA. I just have to clean up the hyperstats and probably fix a few potentials, but I still have my standard 2 rings, cup, pink bean belt, 16-star crossbow. It has T6 attack, T5 boss, T5 all stat. I didn't fix the potential on here yet, but I do plan to get this to legendary. And then CRAs, I tried to push to 16, but I actually boomed my fodder, and I don't have enough tokens for spares yet, so I'll fodder it up again later. Absolute gloves are 16, so I do want to tier this up to legendary to get crit damage line. And it's just running 9 set boss accessory on here too, so I'll definitely be able to get through CRA somewhat soon. And then in terms of nodes, I actually found a single perfect trio. So it's just level 20 boost. I do want to get this a bit higher just because I don't have much to work on in terms of what to boost. I do have an extra node slot. I guess I'll put one of these. I have to look into other nodes that Marksman use for bossing, but for now, this Marksman is up and coming. Then last but not least, is my Ice Lightning. So from the chariot, I still had 2 event rings left, and I didn't put it on any bossing mule. And out of all the bossing mules I decided to put it on, I decided to put on my Ice Lightning because Ice Lightning is a fairly strong class, and I thought it had the most amount of potential. So for me to be able to get it running faster, I just threw on the 2 event rings, and I still have the standard 2 rings on here. I haven't run Pink Bean yet, so I'm just using a rose placeholder for the pocket slot. I did get run in a bit of Golux, but I think I might end up switching this to a Pink Bean belt later, just because it does have better flames. I do need to run CRA on here soon, but until then, I'm still using my Pencileer gear. I would say for my face and eye accessory, they have pretty cracked flames, so I'm probably gonna stick with these for a while. I don't feel like I'll get a black bean mark anytime soon, so I'm probably gonna stick with the exact accessory that's left for a while. For my gloves and shoes, I was fortunate enough to go along a NLomien run, so I haven't had to do the weeklies for these. Um, so I'm at least 2 set abso, gonna get the shoulder later once I run Dark World Tree. Still using CHT earrings, and then in terms of the emblem needs a lot of work, but I ran out of Mesos before I can work on that. And then my shield. I actually tapped this to 18 stars during 5, 10, 15. It's low-key grief, but fortunately I didn't get punished. Symbols are a bit low in here, so I still need to run a shitload of dailies across all my bossing mules. Gonna get to that soon, and hopefully you'll see Ice Lightning and Marksman bossing content in the near future, where they'll be doing at least CRA and a few more NLomien mules coming very soon. That is it for this week's bossing mule progression, and I'll catch you all next week. Catch you later, homies. Have a good one.